off a Pan Am Boeing 747, August 11th of 1963. And that date is significant because just 17 days later, Martin Luther King Jr. gave his I Have a Dream speech. And so I said to my father, why did you come then? It was a bad time for us. It was the height of the civil rights movement. And do you know what he said? He said, because this is still where the jobs were. This is still where the opportunities were. And he only had $1.75 in his pocket. $1.75. I like to say he was so poor, he was poor. He couldn't afford the whole art.
Such a good one.
And he took any job he could find and he put himself through school. He started his American dream and now he's comfortably retired. And the second house he's built, and I told him this one is too big for you, and he said, leave me alone, it's my money. So I tell you that because, folks, my father is not a victim. I am not a victim. Truck in victimology. And you know what? I'm done with it and I'm tired of it. And this is really ridiculous because this is not 1963. But I want you to remember something. My father left the country that's majority black to come to America at the height of the civil rights movement. And guess what he didn't do? He didn't go back. And he made it. And then what you're looking at is a walking impossibility that I could be born in Jamaica, black, woman, immigrant, and I am running for the second highest. Our family stories, we just know that we struggle and that we make it. So I had one of my cousins who came in 1983, but he came richer than my father because he came with $3 and $2. I don't know what it is with my family, we don't come with it. And the other day he bought the Mercedes 500 Series SEL. I wouldn't have bought that because I'm cheap. My kids are crazy. When I go to Norfolk, I normally stay with a friend of mine. She called me, she can't go home because 2 bullets came through her bedroom window at a time when she and I would have been standing out there. And so we're now defunding our police. Our police are already demoralized. They can't even find people to fill those slots because some of them have already left. Yeah. So who are you going to call when you need somebody to help protect you? The social worker that they told us we're going to call? Really? She called the police. We need our police. We're not defunding anybody. And then when it comes to education, let me tell you something. We need parental school choice. Rather than to the child. You're looking at somebody who is the former vice president of the state board Board of Education. And my children had gaps in their education that I had to find a tutor for. Why should I have to pay twice for my children? Why should I have to do, no, we need school choice now. Here's something else. We need to create generational wealth, and if our children don't have a good education, they are not going to be able to create generational wealth, because a good education is what lifted my father out of poverty, is what lifted my cousin out of poverty, and me and everybody else. You're not going to believe the percentages I'm going to talk. 84% of them are failing, 70% of Latino kids, and 45% of white kids. Don't tell me it's working. We know it's not. Parental school choice now. Here's the other thing. Our economy. Yes, folks, it's still the economy, stupid. We have got to get our economy back. I'm a small business owner. And let me tell you, I lost 25% of my business. It didn't have to happen because Florida has shown us that you can stay open.
Yeah!
Leaders assess the threat, determine the vulnerabilities, and then we get to work. We didn't have to shut down in the way that we did. People have lost their businesses.
Amen.
They're cutting into their 401ks. I've heard of people committing suicide because of all that. Didn't have to happen. So we're going to make Virginia, again, the best place to live and work and raise a family. And the last thing, my opponent. So, when you make promises, folks, you gotta keep them. Especially if you're in politics. So my opponent, every year for 4 years, told the voters she would not accept money from state-regulated utilities. That's okay. You make a promise, you gotta keep it. And so people gave her money. But then some other people came along, and these same state-regulated utility, they waved $100,000 in front of her face, and she took it. That's right. She did not keep her promise. We now know she can be bought. We now know what the price is, and it's $100,000. It's not good. But you know who can't be bought? That would be me.
Yeah! That's all you need.
And when all you have is your good name, you've got to make sure that you keep it. And so you have to be able to trust me when I tell you I'm going to do what I'm going to do. But the only way you can do that really is to look at my record. And you will see that in my record, I ran a homeless shelter for women and children. It's the best job I ever had. Loved it. Loved seeing how I can help people make change in their lives. And then the other thing that I did, I every Wednesday for 2 years led a men's prison ministry. Loved it because I could see what can happen in somebody's lives when you give them hope. And by the way, that is the name of my tour. It's a hope and opportunity tour, not the hope and hope tour.
Yeah!
Because, you know, I understand that people don't trust their government. And I have seen what it means when you travel, that your government is not for you. And so I wanted the people to understand when I was elected that any power that I have is their power. It didn't belong to me. It came from other people, by the people, for the people. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so what I did, I took my campaign funds and I took one teacher from each of my schools and a civic league leader, a neighborhood leader from each of my neighborhoods, and I brought them to Richmond, 2 at a time, and they shadowed me. If I ate, they ate. If I didn't eat, they didn't eat. I was on the floor of the house, they were on the floor of the house.
That's cool.
When people would come in and want me to vote a certain way and, try to persuade me, they were there. And it was kind of disconcerting to the people who were trying to get me like, no, they're my constituents. They want to hear what you're asking for. Pay for their meals, pay for their hotels, pay for their mileage, all that good stuff. They loved it. And when I'm lieutenant governor, I am going to do that again. You can bet your sweet life. It is time for a change, and people are ready because we are going to not just represent conservatives, we are going to represent Democrats, Libertarians, Green Party, Reform Party, Lyndon LaRouche, we are going to represent everybody because everybody knows we need a change. And one man is going to help us with that, and that would be our next governor, Glenn Youngkin.